Hello and welcome to our weekly wisdom. I am so excited for our special guest today to bring a new and interesting twist, bringing me back to my childhood and what I did growing up. So, I am Tammy Jaffe for those of you who are new to our weekly wisdom. I am your career transition and business success coach, helping you go from employee to entrepreneur without all the headaches so that you can replace your income and exceed it and get out of the corporate world. But our special guest with us today is Emily Hobner, and she is a passionate agriculturalist and mom of many four-legged furry animals. Emily is a ranch manager who lives in Texas working for a ranch family. When not at work, she spends her time with her goats and horses, training her horses, volunteering for the local 4-H and cattle women group. She is involved in her church activities and running her photography business, Western Cowgirl Design Photography, and her WCD agriculture management business. That is a lot of things, Emily. You are like all over. She loves to share her love of animals and agriculture with others and to teach them. So many people are removed from agriculture, and she wants to help close the gap between consumers and the farm ranch, helping them to understand the importance of agriculture. She says from the time she can remember growing up on a farm, being in 4-H and FFA, and going to college at Texas A&M. She knew her purpose in life was to take care of God's land and creature so that they can be here for our generations to come. She has been blessed in her life and owes gratitude to Jesus Christ for this. Emily, it is so great to have you here. So this has been in your life pretty much forever. Is that...
Yes, I am excited to be here. So thank you so much for having me on. And yes, I was born and raised on the farm. And so I was walking through the pastures before I was born. So it's something that I've grown up with and something that I've been a part of my whole life. And it's just something I would say is ingrained in me and that I love.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's when you grow up that way, it's hard to get it out. It just kind of is part of you. But I grew up on a farm in Michigan and can relate to what it's like working on a farm. I mean, it is hard work, and I don't think people realize that. I think we need to give our farmers a lot more credit than what they get. So share a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
So I obviously born and raised and spent a lot of time on the farm and then help in ranch jobs as I've grown older and spent lots of times in 4-H and FFA with public speaking and cattle and horses and rabbits and um, in the leadership positions as well and officer positions. And so I have carried that on into working after I got out of college with my degree and did a few internships and have worked for a few years in my current position and I've always wanted to do ranch management. I love about every aspect of it. I love the animals, the land, working with the people, and ultimately taking care of the animals and helping to feed, whether it's with crops or livestock, the world. And that's something that I've really strived for to go and work towards. And I really found that they're working for other people is I want to be able to help. There's a need out there to be able to help those who are so removed. Like you said, you grew up on a farm and now that's, you have a different job, and there's so many people like that. And I think that as an agriculturalist and a farm girl or just a rancher, that it's part of our duty, and what we love is educating other people. And there's a reason that we do what we do. Yes, it's hard work. Yes, it's long hours and in any temperature, in any weather, but it's something that we love. And there's a character build that we have, there's ethics that we learn, and there's traditions. And most people who are in the industry have grown up in it or around it. And they want to continue it. But there is some people who want to get into it now and want to learn or want to leave the city and go into the country, whether it's to have a small property or to start their own ranch or their own farm, or they're just small acreage with an exemption on it. And I think that's great. I think it's wonderful because the just being able to share that with other people and get them to and educate and understand why we do what we do and why we love what we do, and be able to help them to grow and to be able to keep agriculture around, and farms and ranches, is something that I want to help do so that it's around for generations to come and that there's a legacy built.
That's awesome because I know, like you said, there's a lot of people, and it's funny. My brother was just talking this weekend about one of his friends who, he had worked with for many years and had been in business, and he retired early and started his own farm. And I have some other friends who, they've moved out to the country and they've gotten horses or goats or chickens, and they're doing their own little thing on the side. And I think now, especially with what's happening in the world this year, people are realizing they want a little more space. They want to be able to, maybe grow their own food, have some of their animals around and things like that. So there are a lot of people looking to try to figure out, how do you get started? And I know that's your specialty and what you help people with. So share with us a little bit about how you help those people who are looking to get started with a new farm. And is it for any type of farm, ag? Like, what's your area of expertise?
So, yes, there's a few different ways. I've really just started out kind of by consulting, and I live near some people who have moved out of the city or retired and wanted to have their own property. And they're on 10 or 12, 20-acre tracts that seem to be pretty popular right now. And just consulting with them, and they're friends of mine and they know what I do and have asked me questions about their donkeys or their horses, or they say, when we moved out here, we really didn't want wildlife, or we really didn't want livestock. And so they've asked me, well, how do I want this one, but can my land handle it? They ask, I want a horse, but how do you take care of them? And, what do they need nutritional wise? And so I've continued to help people, as well as volunteering with the 4-H group. I love helping them with, their livestock projects, and getting them to understand, how to take care of them, their nutritional requirements, and what it takes to have them, on their property, and where you got to keep them. And then, and I'll go into that in a minute, but the other flip side of that is after my event that I'm going to be having, it's a free online agriculture ownership success 1-day live event through Zoom. It's going to be December 12th, starting at 11 a.m. Central, and then it'll go to about 5:30 Central. Probably might end a little bit early, but I am going to bring 10 experts in to talk about agriculture, business planning, mindset, goal setting, talking about the land and how to take care of it. I have a realtor who's going to come and talk about, how you create a relationship with a realtor when you're looking for the property that you want, and what are your options out there. I have a gal who's going to talk about the ag and wildlife evaluations, because that's a very popular topic. I'm going to have actual farmers and ranchers that will kind of talk about just their experiences and how they've become profitable on their operations, and just advice that they would have. And so part of my business and what I'm doing is providing this free resource. And so for anybody listening, if you want to go to agricultureownershipsuccess.com, agricultureownershipsuccess.com, it's free to register. And then there's options if you want to buy the replays, which I highly suggest, because I'm very excited and for the lineup that we have of people who are going to talk. And part of, again, what I will be offering, launching at the end of that, is I have a 6-week course that's called the Ranch Management Journey, that will go through 6 weeks of starting out, talking about, what is it that you need to know when you start looking for that property that you want, and business planning and what it is that you're wanting, what are you dreaming of. Talks about goal setting, short-term, long-term goals, and also talks about, who do you know, what resources do you have that you may not think that you have, what knowledge do you already have that maybe you're like, I really can't do this, I can't make my dream property happen because I just don't have the know-hows or I don't have enough skills. Well, it goes into talking about, using what you have and then looking out around you and who you already know that could help you. And so I'm really excited for the 6-week course. And so that will be again launched at the end of this online live event on December 12th, 11 a.m. Central. And then obviously we can give in the information if people have questions about that and how to get in touch with me about my course. But in the end, basically is just helping people and who have questions and not, I was raised to help people and to serve people and to love people. And so that's what I love to do. And that's why I've, created my business to be able to continue to help people who are looking for that knowledge and who want to, help themselves, especially at this time. A lot of people have learned, well, what happens if the food's not at the grocery store? What happens if, they're out of this and I need it? Well, and a lot of people don't know that you can grow a lot of that yourself, that it comes from the ground. It comes from those farmers and ranchers who provide it, for you. And you could have, some, maybe a cow for milk or a goat to have milk, or, planting your vegetables and having, corn or crops that can provide you with the nutrients that you love to eat every day. And so that's another reason for, wanting to do this and how I help people.
I love that. And, if you guys are watching and you have questions for Emily about how to get started or what you should be doing, or, just anything in that area, post them in the comments. Let us know what questions you might have. She can always come back later and answer them if you're watching the replay and have questions and want to ask her something. But make sure you go and get the access to the free online event she has coming up next weekend. I will be there speaking as well and helping you look at your goals and where you go with that. And it's going to be something that is different from a lot of the events that you have. This is very specific. If you are wanting to get started, if you have had this dream of having some land where you can have some animals or grow some of your own foods, going to be some very specific tips for those starting out. So make sure you go. We'll post the link in the comments below as well when we are through with the interview. But, let us know what other things are coming to your mind so that as Emily is planning this and, she's got a great lineup of people coming, but if there's questions that you want her to ask during that, she can ask those experts as well. So Emily, has been great having you on here, and I'm so excited about your event and going back to my roots and, and talking about ag and farming and sharing what my knowledge is around it, my knowledge around, goal setting and things that are going to help you be successful in that area, and hearing all of your other experts as well.
Awesome. I'm very excited that you are going to be a speaker. I'm excited for those, and definitely put in those questions if you have them, because I'm always, looking for the new things that will, hit my thought process that, I don't think about, and things that other people do think about, and something that I really want to hit on with this online event and as in my business is there's so many small details that people don't really realize or they don't think about, when they get started. And that's not at all to scare anybody away. That is not my point of, this online event. Is there are going to be a lot of details, coming to you that will be talked about, but it's so that you're aware, that your eyes are open. And the biggest thing is that, I started this project because I want my dream operation. That's something that I've always wanted. And I know that I can have it, and I've seen a way that I can have it. And I want that to be the same for everybody. I want them to see that as I call it, is don't be a dream. Don't have it be a dream, have it be accomplished goal. Have your dream become a reality, because we can dream all day long. We can hope and wish, but we have to get started doing. And that's what I want, why I want to provide this is a kind of that opening door for people just to give information. And so for those who were hesitant, yes, it's free. So come in and join and be there. It'll be, kind of all day long. And we'd love to have you the whole day. If you need to just jump on and have something else, just please come and join us, and definitely be able to buy the replays, or there's a VIP option to have a clarity call with me. And then the day of, there's going to be lots of goodies and things that we'll be giving away, and offers that will be given from the different speakers. And I want this to be a time that you guys start doing and start, planning towards that goal. Yes, everybody, it's a scary time. And I get that. Trust me, I get it. I would just want you guys to know that it's an opportunity for you. And I want to share what I love with you. And my why, for doing this is, yes, I have my own goals and dreams, but I want you guys to be able to fully know what is the opportunities that are out there, that are, taking care of our animals and how to do that, take care of the land, because if neither of those are around and taken care of properly, they won't be around for generations to come, and won't be around for us and for our kids, or for, our family members in the future. And I know that that's important. I know creating a legacy for a lot of people is important. And so I want that to be a possibility, not a possibility, an accomplished goal for those people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love your passion for this and sharing this with us. And, what you said about making it not just a wish and a dream, but a reality, because I, I think it's one of those things that people do talk about and think about for a really long time before they do it. And it's always good to get the guidance. It's always good to learn from someone who's been through it, or, the expert like you. You've been doing parts of this in all different kinds of ways for your whole life. And you know what they need, to get started, where they need to go to find the right experts. And that is something that if you are thinking about starting any business, you want to have. And especially if you are looking to do something in this area, Emily is an amazing expert. So thank you, Emily, for being on with us. And I can't wait to see you next Saturday.
Yes, thank you again so much for having me on. It was a pleasure.
And thank you all. If you guys are thinking about getting into this at all, make sure you check out Emily's event next weekend, and we will be posting that in the comments. If you are thinking about making the shift in another area of business, be sure to message me and find out how you can get your strategy lined up for how you make that shift from employee to entrepreneur, because getting the guidance you need will save you so much time and money in any new business. So I'm so glad you were here with us today. We will see you next week at our weekly wisdom.